Guys who box know the nerves they feel walking into a ring. It's one of the most nerve-wracking things.
Yeah.
Good boxers don't necessarily make good coaches, and the smile on their face makes me smile, and that's so rewarding. Don't give up. Keep going to the gym. Forget about your boxing record. Experience is what you want. Experience. So when you get knocked down, pick something up.
I like that.
A good coach can teach you how to box. A great coach gets to your heart.
Hello there and welcome to the Amateur Boxing Show. Today I'm speaking to somebody who was fearful of making phone calls, so let alone having the confidence and the self-belief to becoming an amateur boxing coach. But he's done that. He has done that, and I'll be talking to Aaron, who has had this massive transformation and is now been coaching for almost 2 years. And before coaching, he was an amateur boxer himself, having had something like 10 bouts. And in this interview, you'll learn what it takes to overcome fear, why surrounding yourself around positive people is so important, and also learning some essential skills to be successful in life and in coaching. So please hang around, and for now, let's get cracking. Welcome to the show, Aaron.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. What I've noticed reading your intro and the bio you sent me is that fear is like a recurring theme in your life.
Yeah.
You talk about jumping in the ring.
Yeah.
You talk about jumping out of a plane.
Yeah.
And you also talk about your fear of overcoming making phone calls.
Yeah.
I think it's just so fascinating and interesting. So please tell us more.
Yeah. Well, boxing and jumping out of an airplane sound like two massive ones. But as big as they are, talking on the phone was just as big, and that sounds so minute. But that was a big thing, and I only made it get worse as I got older. Like, you leave school and then you got to start doing these things as you get older. And I never really adjusted to doing it, like socially awkward. But the more and more I done it, the easier it became. So the more times you get in the boxing ring, the easier it will come. So I know about jumping out of a plane.
You know, what? Like most people, I can think of so many people, and probably a lot of people watching run away from their fears.
Oh yeah.
But it sounds that from reading your bio, what I got was that you approach them head on. So where does that come from?
From a young age, a really young age actually, I had no fear bound. I had no fear at all of anything really. I was just like a crazy kid that would jump on the swing, try out, climb up the trees and hang. And then suddenly fear came out of nowhere in my life, and I learned what fear was. And I was like, oh.
When did this happen?
I don't even know. I can't even tell you. I think like secondary school maybe, like starting a new school, maybe in year 8 when I started to get a bit older. And I think knowing more about the risks of life. And then I think I realised you're not immortal. Get a grip. But so I started boxing when I was in year 9, and then kind of didn't fight till I was like, didn't have my first boxing match till I was in year 11. So like 2 years of experience before I got in the ring. And that took a lot of courage and nerves.
So how many fights did you have?
I had 10 fights.
10 fights. And then when did you stop boxing?
I stopped boxing when I stopped having bouts I think my last bout was 19. I was 19 years of age. I think it's when I started like going out drinking and partying and doing what 19-year-old kids do. I faded away, and I wish I never did now. Biggest regret ever. So if you're 19, don't give up. Keep going to the gym. Biggest advice I can give anyone who's boxing now at a young age. But boxing never left me. Even though I didn't box, I still watch on TV, still watch when the boxing gym puts videos up. I was always watching the videos. So it was always in my life. like prattling around in the living room, getting a boxing stance and looking in the mirror, hitting a punching bag. It never leaves you. It's one of them things.
So obviously you've hit 19. You've been doing it since you were 14.
Yeah.
And I take it you were consistent at that point.
Oh,
you were going
yeah,
every other day,
yeah,
going in week week out, doing
running,
it for years.
So everything was boxing.
Do you feel like it got too much, or you just had enough? And then
No, it was like,
or did you just take a different path?
okay, I think my last fight I had, I think I done my weight a bit too light. Came in a little bit too light, and even though the lad wasn't affecting me with his punches, I was getting it because I didn't have the energy to like defend, and I really felt like, oh, I don't want to do this. In the ring, on my 10th bout, I thought, I don't want to be in here. It's the first time ever I felt like that. I said to myself, I don't want to be in here. But I think I was already at that stage where I wasn't giving boxing 100%, and I always have. I've always given it 100%. So training as many times as I can fit into a week.
Takes a lot of dedication.
Running after the gym, or running before the gym, or running on my days off. I used to love running. I used to do a bit of cross country as well. So I used to adore running. Running's a lot like boxing. It's just your mind, and it's you against you, the same as boxing. So it helps.
Yeah.
That's why I used to love running on my own. I ran with friends and stuff as well. But running on my own really helps because it's you against you. Yeah. What was I going to?
Yeah. So I was just asking, like, what happened. So you're 19.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
So you're having this 10th bout.
Yeah.
You're in the ring. You don't feel like the guy is any better than you. If anything, he's no way.
No, I should
at the skill level
myself
as you
thinking
are.
I should be beating him.
Exactly.
I know how to beat him. John's
Just...
in my corner saying, "Do this, do that," and I know exactly what he's saying. But to do it in the ring, it just wasn't working, and I knew because I was 19.
Did you go into the bout thinking? No, it was just like you'd had enough, or was it whilst you were in the ring?
In the ring, yeah.
That all these thoughts were
in the ring.
Now
it was whilst I was in the ring. Before the bout, I was buzzing, ready to go.
Okay. So once I got in,
I think round one, I thought I won round one. I thought, oh, this is great. Round two then it just hit me. My energy just went. So I did round one, and I was great. I felt great. Got into round two. Halfway through round two, my energy was gone, and I was like, what the hell? And then going to round three, and I was like, oh man, this is killing me. And then round four, because it was a 4-round bout, and I didn't know till 2 minutes before it started. Because it was in the time where they was introducing 4 rounds and then 3-minute rounds. I don't think they could decide.
So were you doing 4 3-minute rounds?
So I did 4 2-minute rounds.
4 2-minute rounds.
It was new. I think they was just changing the rules at the time.
Oh, okay.
So it went from like amateur boxing to English boxing, or the rules was getting mixed about. So the scoring was changing. It went from point scoring to rounds and stuff like that. So yeah, when I got into the 3rd round, I was like, that was the main round. I was thinking, oh, I don't want to be in here. And I think it's because I didn't give it 100% like I always have done. I was going out a little bit more with friends, having a drink, trying to meet girls and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So, so you've gone from a boxing background to coaching.
Yeah.
Is there anything you've taken from your boxing days into coaching? Like, in other words, are there any transferable skills in your opinion?
100% it helps. 100%. One thing that has stayed the same, and I can't believe it has, is the nerves walking to the ring. So, obviously, guys who box know the nerves they feel walking into a ring. It's one of the most nerve-wracking things you can go through, you know yourself. And as you get into the ring, the nerves fade away and the adrenaline gets in.
And then it's just, yeah.
But when you're a coach and you take someone into the corner, their nerves just don't disappear. The adrenaline's still there, but your nerves for that fighter never goes away. So that's challenging. And you don't want to see him get hurt. And even though I've only done it for a short amount of time now at the moment, I don't think it's ever going to change. I think the nerves will always be there when it comes to being in the corner.
What skills do you think you've taken from boxing to coaching?
Okay.
Like
well-
you talk about nerves.
Yeah.
Going into the ring as a
Yeah.
fighter, and then once you
Yeah.
get in there, the nerves all disappear and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's something that you can, coach your
Yeah.
boxer. Like, look, this is, you can share that experience with them. Is there anything else that you can think of that you can share, if in your opinion?
I don't even feel like
I feel like I'm not saying that if you haven't boxed that you can't
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
And if anyone watching is in that boat,
Yeah.
don't let a non-boxing
100%.
background put you off.
100%.
Because sometimes somebody comes with a new perspective.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
They can see things that
It helps.
we can't.
It helps being a boxer, but it also can be a hindrance because
Exactly. Yeah.
good boxers don't necessarily make good coaches, because
Exactly.
there's a lot of I want you to box how I used to box.
Yeah.
But you can't have that approach of every boxer. Every boxer is different.
I'm sure you're enjoying this video, so please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Now back to the interview. So what do you think you can? What do you think in that case that you can offer a boxer?
Well, I know how it feels like to be punched in the face. I know it feels like when you're tired in the ring, and you can get that from just sparring. Sparring's probably the most demanding, more demanding than a fight sometimes.
Yeah.
So that experience where they're in the ring, I kind of know what they're going through. And if they say, "I know I'm getting tired," and I say, "I know how you feel," but you gotta find something else. It's finding that extra bit of something. That's what makes a boxer. It's finding that extra bit of strength from somewhere. Sometimes it just comes from God knows where. You don't even know where that extra strength comes from, because your skills can only take you so far. You can be the most skillful boxer in the world, but without that courage, without that extra strength from somewhere else, you won't make it as far. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that from your point of view, from Aaron's point of view, is that you've got that relatability, so you can pass on that knowledge. You know exactly what that boxer's going through, so you can relate to him. So therefore, I don't know. I mean, I suppose that gives you a better way of empathizing with the person.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
You can empathise a bit more with them, but coaching is still completely different to fighting. So you've got to think outside the box a lot as well. So I can't keep thinking, I'm that boxer, so I'll box like this. You've got to think, you're looking from the outside view, so you've got to think outside the box a lot as well.
Yeah, no, it reminds me of when I had Kev on the show, and he mentioned that he was talking about just understanding the boxer.
Yeah.
You can't turn a Great Dane into I don't know, an Alsatian, or you gotta exactly. So you just gotta you gotta understand what you got in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You gotta understand the boxer's style, what they like, and then you work with that, as opposed to, I used to box like this, so what can't you do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if you've come from a boxing background, there is that danger.
Yeah.
That you kind of like impose your style onto the boxer, and
it's like saying that. It's like a man having a son. I want him to be like me. He's got to be like me. He's got to. But that your son never be like you.
That's actually,
he's a different person altogether.
That's a good way of putting it.
So when you're a boxing coach, you think he's got to box like me. He's got to be strong. Yeah, he's got to have a good left hook. Like I used to.
He's his own person.
He's his own person. He might have a wicked right hand instead of a left hook.
Yeah.
He might be a pressure fighter, where I was more on the back foot long. He might want to come forward.
Were you more of a counter fighter?
Boxer puncher, really, like punch and then take and then come back. Like tried to be like, because our old take was be first, be third, and I think
first to third, yeah.
Be first, be third. So it was always lead and then come back. So not so much counter punching with that skill, but still counters involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. I'm gonna take it
Yeah.
take it back.
Yeah.
In terms of your coaching and how it all
Yeah.
started, you mentioned that your missus,
Yeah.
Georgie,
Yeah, Georgie.
yeah, shout out to Georgie. You say that she's the inspiration for you to get into coaching.
Yeah.
Just tell us that conversation. How did it happen? Was
Ooh,
it
it's
like
been a long.
was it
Yeah.
like a single conversation, or was it like a sort of did you go on a journey with her on this, and then you finally walked in to Lions as wanting to be a coach?
Yeah. So Georgie is a dance teacher. So she kind of gets it as well. She teaches and coaches dance, and she's an inspiration to a lot of girls and boys. But and she's gone through her rough times.
You know, I've always
stuff.
wanted to dance.
Oh, there you go, Georgie. Yeah. So, but seeing her inspire people, and how she does it, even though I know her as a bit. She can question herself a lot. She can have her own doubts about things, but then when she goes into her teaching, it's like a whole different person. It's like that's all gone. But not just that. So I was been talking about since I've been with her 9 years. Ever since I got with her, all she's ever heard me talk about is boxing this, boxing that, and she's like, "Oh, box again then? Box? What do you box?" And I'm like, "I call box. It's demanding. And then I've always like, I come into the gym and then I fade away again." And then she was like, this was like 3 years ago, so this has been a long time coming because I started last. I've been coached for a year and a few months now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a year and 4 months or something. So it's been a long time coming. She's like, "Why do you get into coaching? You'll be amazing." And I think she's just saying that just to make me feel good. I don't know, I'm good at boxing, coaching. So I played around with her in the kitchen and stuff, and said, "No, got her in a boxing stance."
What made you? What gave you those? What made you think that you weren't going to be a good coach? Because you had no reason to think that you weren't. So what was it that made you think that, you know what, I can't make it. I'm not going to be a good coach?
Self-confidence, yeah. Like having the confidence to stand in front of a class. I know what to say in my mind, and I know how to teach. I know what I want, but getting it verbally out and to a whole class as well, or one-to-ones or whatever, it's a whole different ball game. So that was a challenge, big challenge. I'm definitely getting better at that now. But that was the biggest challenge about coaching.
Now, see, I would never have thought that, because I think you the way you explain things is just brilliant. See, and I've taken so much stuff away from like, watching you. So it's just amazing, isn't it? How we ourselves can limit ourselves, and all, you know, the gremlin,
it's that
just
crazy.
Talks, you know, all that negativity, but yet we got more potential than we actually think we have.
We're living in here, but someone looking at us, or looking at us from out there, outside view. It's amazing. It's the outside view on us.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, you're crazy thinking I could do that. Stand up in front of an old class and teach. Because I used to look at a teacher at school and go, "Oh, I fancy doing this." But when it's something you love and something you know, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
If I stood in front of a class and tried to teach them how to play hockey, I want to have what could I do with that? You know what I mean? Because I can teach, because I know boxing, that's helped a lot. And so she seen something I didn't, and I thank her now for it. Thank you, Georgie. Because now I've got no regrets doing it now. I'm loving it. Like,
she's given us a gym.
Yeah, gem to the
gym. So it's like she would constantly, or she would say,
but every time I mention boxing or
not constantly, maybe constantly not the right word, but I mean I think because she would say every now and again, it just reinforced.
Well, I'll tell you what it was as well. I used to watch like TikTok videos or something of someone coaching or whatever, and then she'd be like, "Oh, you'd be great at that. You'd be great at that, doing that." And then I was like, let's see if she's right then. Let's roll the dice. I think got to the stage where I just thought, I'm just going to tell Kev, because I went to Kev's birthday party. When was Kev's birthday party now?
December. Not last year, year before.
Not last year, year before, December. Yeah, not December just gone, the one before.
Yeah.
And I just went up to Kev and went, I felt like I want to come to the gym and start coaching. And Kev was like, really? I was like, is he just saying it or does he mean it? And then like I showed up at the gym the next week, and then from then I just went on like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw you walking in, and I was like, "You come to train, Aaron?" And you were like,
"No, I'm coaching.
I'm coaching." I was like, "Okay."
She's different.
Having you on board, was great because we could just we kind of like just got on, don't we? And we just fed off each other.
Yeah, definitely. Having you really helped me.
I remember you saying
we was at the same stage. Well, you probably doing a bit longer than me, but I was like watching you and I'll take a bit of that, and then watching John,
It's just learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just watching.
Take a little bit from Bob, take a little bit from Josh, take a little bit from Kev, and then I'll adjust it to my own things. Like Bob used to always say, I was the best cheat in school because I'd take a bit off them and I'd take a bit off them. And then
I can't wait to get Bob on the show.
It'd be great.
I'll get Bob on there.
Yeah.
So that's how you get into coaching.
Yeah.
But what's your why of coaching? Why do you coach?
Oh, it's really
is it
so
to
rewarding.
overcome your fear? Is it the love of the sport?
It's a mixture.
What is it for you?
It's a pick and mix of a lot of things. It's adrenaline's there, which you love adrenaline. You put a little adrenaline in your life and it makes life more worth living. So the adrenaline's whenever you're going out for a fight or teaching someone something, and also then it's rewarding. Like if I even as simplest thing as I'm on the pad with someone and I get them to throw a backhand and it's not what I need it to be, and then I tell them how to adjust the feet or to throw from the floor, and they throw a perfect backhand, and then the smile on their face makes me smile, and that's so rewarding. That's just coaching. And then when a boxer has their hand raised in the ring, it's like you win together, and that's amazing.
Is it how different is that from like say your own fight and winning a boxing fight?
Oh.
Would you say there's
it's
comparable or
it's comparable, but it's also different. I don't know.
Which one's more? Do you think you're more elated when you've won a fight, or
you see, like,
or when you've experienced somebody else? So you've coached winning one.
I love the feeling of winning. It feels amazing. But when someone you care about wins, that feels just as amazing. You know what I mean? Like,
is it more amazing or the same? I mean, like
I'll tell you something. Yeah, like home show. If I fought on the home show, I can only win once, or I can lose once. When I'm a coach, I can win 12 times. That's a great feeling. I get it 12 times. You know what I mean? And then if you've taught someone,
but does that 12 equal that one, or are you still?
It's so equal. I can't even remember, to be honest, because it's been that long ago. I just remember the feeling of winning is amazing. Because I remember my first 2 bouts, I lost to the same guy, home and away, close fight, split decisions. And on my 3rd bout with someone else, I said to myself, if I don't win this, I'm quitting. What's the point? I've lost 2 in a row. After this, I'm finished. And then I won that one. And then once I had that feeling of winning, I was like, hell, I don't care if I win or lose. I want to win again. You know what I mean? So your boxing record in amateur, don't think too much into it. Like I definitely used to. I've had 2. I've lost 2. I've won my 3rd one. I won my 4th, my 5th.
Like just enjoy it.
Now I'm 5 and 3. No, I've won. No, I've had 5, won 3. I don't want to go even again. And then I'd have like, say if I lost the next one, it'd be like 3-3, and I'd be looking at my record going, oh. But forget about your boxing record. Experience is what you want. Experience. I don't care if you've lost 10 fights in a row. You'll win the 11th, win the 13th or 15th or 20th. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, this reminds me about when I had Super Zane on the show.
Yeah. He said the same thing.
It's what he's exactly what he says, that it's just about
experience.
It's about the experience, the enjoyment, and in paraphrasing what he said, if I've won something like 5 or lost 5 or 6, I'll win the 7th.
Of course, it does. You love it.
Does the I'll win the 8th.
You got to be in there to win. and that
Yeah, no,
course you have,
absolutely. Yeah,
but
I mean, you don't do all that training to get in the ring
Yeah.
and then say, well,
you're in there to win.
exactly.
But
exactly.
when it's all said and done, your amateur boxing record, it's all about experience. If you decide to turn pro, you start off at zero again, like Mayo said on a podcast the other day or a video. You get a fresh record anyway. So if you've had 100, 150, lost 50, once you turn pro, you get a zero again. You start again.
Yeah.
So amateurs just experience. Get as much as you
So
can.
what do you find most challenging about coaching?
Ooh, challenging. There's a lot of challenges, but one big challenge is, like you mentioned earlier, is knowing what type of person you're talking to. If I talk to someone who's a bit timid and needs to be open, like you need to approach them slowly and open them up slowly. Or if you're coaching someone who's really energetic and ready to buzz in, you need to like know how to control them as well. So knowing how to approach different types of people is probably one of the most challenging aspects, I think. And that takes a while, and you've got to learn people.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad with names. There's a lot of people in our boxing will know. I'll forget your name. It's nothing personal. It's just I'm really bad with names. I'll remember your face, but I'll never remember your name.
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Do you know what? I forgot myself. What is my name? So far, have you what's been your most memorable memory so far, or your lowest point so far
In boxing?
in your coaching so
In
far?
coaching?
Yeah.
In coaching. Memorable. Ooh.
Have you had one, or maybe two, or in your case, maybe 12?
If I can think of one, it might not be the biggest one, but it might be one. So the most memorable one is still
One that really
difficult.
sticks out in your mind.
It's hard because it's all like merged as one. Every time's the same time. When someone says, "God, you're good at this. You're a good coach," that's a great feeling. I think every time anyone says that,
I'll say that more often.
Yeah, that's probably But if you say it all the time, it's like it's just saying it. But when you get that feeling of like someone appreciates your coaching,
Like I'm thinking, like like you've taken so many people. Now I remember when you took Sam.
I'll tell you
Oxford.
a good one then. The most memorable one actually so far is when we went to, I can't tell you the place because I forgot, but we went there, it was only recently, we took 3 boxers and all 3 boxers won. That was a great feeling because we went there with 3 lads and every lad won. Every lad was happy, we was buzzing, and it was just a great experience because no one lost. Everybody's happy, you know what I mean? So that's probably the most memorable so far. What was the other question?
No, I was just asking you any lowest points you've had, maybe
In coaching?
Yeah.
Not really, because I have my ups and downs with it. Like I could coach something in a session and go, "What have I done there? I've just confused things," and they probably think I'm an idiot now. People thinking you're an idiot's the word. What you always think you don't want, but you know what I mean. When you're coaching, you don't think he's an idiot. What's he taught me there? But that happens a few times, and I have to readjust.
But it shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter because
it shouldn't matter
because
it's
like having your backhand in front of your face. Sometimes I might drop it and I'll get jabbed. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pick it up and make sure it's there next time.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I make that mistake, I'll learn from it, and then next time I won't get punched. You know what I mean? It's the same with making a mistake in boxing. I'd rather make the mistakes whilst in the boxing gym than making the mistakes in the corner. If I tell a boxer to do a certain thing in the corner and then he gets hurt, that's on me then. I haven't had that happen yet, and I haven't been inside the ropes enough for that to happen. I've been handing up to Josh mostly. But if you do give the wrong guidance to a boxer and then he gets hurt, I'd imagine that's probably the worst. Yeah. Not so much to losing, but to get hurt would be the biggest thing. Okay. To get knocked out, or if you know what I mean, that would be.
Yeah.
Let's hope that never happens, but boxing's a risky game and that can happen. So.
Tell me about your coaching style. How would you describe your
loud.
your
I'm loud. I like to motivate. I like to get people motivated. I don't want to shout to them all the while. I'm not that type of character to shout. I like to motivate and come on, you can do it. You know what I mean? Push you. I want to push you, but not. I don't want to be nasty. I just want to motivate because that's what I want. I want someone to say, "Come on, hit him with the jab," and then it's a wicked jab. And, come on. Or you can give them a telling off, but it's in a jokey way. I'll kind of like spin it and go, "You won't do that. Like, don't do that. What are you doing that for? Why is your feet like that? Come on, you're better than this." That's that kind of push, rather than going, "That's rubbish. Why are you doing that? You should be doing that, flat-footed."
So it's just So you're more about you're all about just getting the better out of the boxer.
This is another challenge with being a coach. Is I don't like to shout at people. I don't like to be nasty, but sometimes you have to have that little bit of nastiness about you, because if you have a classroom full of boxers and they're taking the mickey, you got to like, guys, you don't listen, and you know this. If you don't listen, guys, why are you here? But it's more of a disappointment.
It's more. It's
not being.
It doesn't happen that often, though.
No, it doesn't happen often.
Most of the time, people come into the gym and they want to be there.
Yeah.
No one's there to. It's just occasionally you might get
the odd one.
Get like a teenager.
Yeah.
Who's just in there. It's probably their first time or something, and they're just messing about. Or like, generally speaking, and then it's just discipline, isn't it? So I wouldn't.
Or it's their really happy place, and they're too happy and like excited, so it becomes too. But you have to calm them down a little bit. Like it's coming from a good place, so it's not like they're being naughty. It's just they're excited. They're happy to be in the boxing gym.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go over and say stop being excited. You know what I mean? But I like to calm them down. Yeah. Calm down. Like, let's get it right.
What do you think? Talking about coaching, what do you think's been the biggest contributor to your success so far in coaching? What do you think's really contributed to?
Or every boxing coach in that gym, really, picking from all of them, nitpicking off because they all coach different. If you notice that in our boxing gym, every single boxing coach is different. So I take a little bit from one, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit from the other, and that's what really helps me is watching. So it's just watching, observing, and I go, oh, that's good. They've done that, but I'll take a little bit of that. I will do that because
where do you get that from? That ability to sort of observe and just learn. Is that something you've always had?
I'm a visual learner. I have to see it to learn. I couldn't read that and know how to do it. I have to watch like someone do it over and over again, and then I'll practice it myself. Like I'll go home and I'll get in boxing stance and I'll say, "Oh, does that work?" And then I'll go, "That works." So I'll bring it to the gym, and then I probably won't use it for weeks, but it'll just pop into my head, and I'll go, "Oh, we'll use that." That's helped as well, because sometimes it's fine knowing what to do. Sometimes I could have, and we spoke about this before, I could have a game plan going, I'm going to do this tonight. This is what I'm going to do at home. And then I get to the boxing gym, and then and that goes out the window because the class doesn't allow it.
Do you practice coaching at home?
In the mind, yeah. Like, not all the time, but I do think of things like I play about.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You
I play about with it.
Maybe you get Georgie to be.
No, that's a good idea. I might start
maybe you get
using Georgie as a test on me.
And you use her as like somebody wanting to learn boxing, and then you do like a coaching. I
do that, but in my mind.
Oh, okay.
Visualising it there, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't stand there.
You could do that.
Definitely.
You could do that. I just want to just move on and talk about your. In fact, you just mentioned having ideas in your mind before coming to the gym and what have you. So, just describe a typical coaching session that you do. What's your typical coaching session, if there is one?
My typical one that I normally do is Well, I get them on the lines to do make sure everyone's got the footwork going right and the shape.
For anyone watching that hasn't, doesn't know what the lines are, just explain.
So we have mirrors in the front of at the back of our gym or the side of our gym, and in front of the mirrors are yellow guidelines. So each boxer gets on the line facing the mirror and uses that yellow line as a guide. So the left foot will be on the left side and the right foot will be on the right side, or opposites if so.
Yeah.
And that will be a guideline to how your feet need to be. And then I'll look at everyone's shape. And I'll probably
That's also actually a very good point you're making there. Yeah. So anybody at home wants to practice this stance.
Yeah, a mirror.
It's a good way of doing it.
Mirrors.
It's have a line between your legs.
Yeah, I'll put the line there, even if it's a stick, a broomstick or anything.
And get your feet on either side.
Make your feet on either side so they're not crossing or too far apart. Because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So the boxer will step to the side and then the feet will cross and then they're off balance. Or it'll be too wide and then they're off balance. So getting the feet right, making sure the back foot's underneath them, and then they push off the floor when they move. So I get them on the lines, and then from there we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So they go forward on 1, back on 2, left and right for 4 and 3. So we do that after they've warmed up, and then most of the times it's like a technical session, so technique. But I always like to do half my session technique. And then the last half of my session goes into the grind, goes into where I like to go to the well, and they have to get something out. And then we finish off with a good ton up and stretch. But yeah, so technique and then the graft. Because if I did the graft before the technique, no one's going to have good technique.
Yeah. So you do the technique.
But I also, most times, I like that technique to stay as a theme throughout the session. So once it goes into the punch in the bags or pad work or whatever, from that technique you've done with the partners, and bring it into the whole session. And even in the ton up at the end sometimes.
So give us an example of technique. You've mentioned the yellow lines.
Yeah.
So that's technique. So in terms of like the partner work technique.
Yeah. So you could do a technique where I'm focused on defence. So it could be your blocks, your parries, your laybacks, your pushaways, step off to the sides, or I can do a technique where it's all about punching. So mainly just holding the hands to get the punches right, so the jab, the back, and the hooks. Or I can do a session just on feet. So I'm focusing on the boxing stances, pushing forward, pushing back, adjusting. Or it can be a multiple of all that. It can be bits of it through the session, and the session can change. Is
there any coaching tips that you can share? So you've mentioned
believing in yourself, just believing it,
just believing
in what you're saying. And if you get it wrong, don't worry about it. Just say, "Sorry, class, I got it wrong."
A lot of times people don't even care, do they?
Or a good tip for someone is if you got guys who are slightly better than other guys in the class that have got more experience, and they get the technique right, get them to demonstrate to the others. That really helps, because then the rest of the class can watch them two boxers do it, and then I'll say that's how I like it to be done, and then the rest of the class then will follow suit. And 9 times out of 10 that works, and then I can pick out other guys in the group that have took that and learned it, and I'll say, well, these are getting it right now. You know what I mean?
So your take on coaching tips is believe in what you're saying.
Yeah.
So have self-belief.
Self-belief.
Don't worry about making mistakes.
Don't worry about being wrong. So you've got your self-belief. Don't worry about being wrong.
And then using the better boxers.
I say use the room. Use what you got around you.
Yeah.
You got the mirrors.
Use those better boxers.
You got the lines
to demonstrate.
Yeah.
You
got the boxers in the gym. Use what you got around you. You know what I mean? That's what I'd say.
I think you do that.
Yeah.
Brilliantly. You're talking about your session, using the lines, using the boxers you mentioned. So I think I'm
my own biggest critic. So being your own biggest critic, you'll only can get better because you always critique yourself to go, I can do better than that. I can do better than that. And that's that again, that kind of like winning mentality.
What do you think makes separates a good coach from a great coach from a good coach?
A good coach can teach you how to box and defend and fight and whatever. A great coach gets to your heart. A great coach inspires you from the heart.
Now that's
Yeah, 100%. So once a boxing coach can feed you emotionally and know you and care for you, that takes to a new level. So you can have a good coach that will teach you everything you need to know about being a boxer, but on paper terms. So textbook boxer, but a great coach will make you become a champion. You know what I mean? Will drive you forward.
Have you personally had an example of a great coach?
Luckily, I've had multiple because I'm just lucky. Kev, Bob Dylan, Big John. That was the main three when I come into the gym. It was always Bob, John, and Kev. So yeah.
So it's about inspiring that person and really getting into their head.
Yeah, and Bob's really good at it. Bob's really good at it. Getting that side out, yeah.
How do you think those great coaches are able to do that? What do you think?
They're all different as well. They all do it in different ways. Bob's Bob does it in Bob can tell stories and intrigue you, and motivate you in that way, and he's fun with it, and you know what I mean. Kev can emotionally speak to you and drive you through emotion and push you, and then John can make something so complicated sound so basic and make it so easy to understand.
I like the way you've just summed
up
three of our great coaches.
Yeah, and
John, it's so true. I
John
agree
can,
with all of those.
because John can go. Say my backhand was throwing my backhand wrong. John would just say, "You're doing that because of this," and then I'd just be like, "Damn, he's right." And it's just so simple.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing he ever said to me as well was, I was really nervous about a fight. And he went, "What are you nervous for? He's only got two hands, like you. So why are you nervous?" And I was like, "Damn, he's right, isn't he? He's only got two hands." Yeah.
So what do you think?
But just before we move on, Bob was the first coach I met through the school. So Bob was like the first one. Because in year 9, I never really had a sport really, and then when Bob came into the school in year 9, it was like on our break we could do this extra class, and it was boxing, and I was like, oh, let's have a look at this, and it was Bob in there, and then from that day I was hooked.
Yeah, you've mentioned this.
I was hooked off that. One session,
and that's what made you walk into lines, wasn't it?
And that's why Bob's really good, because one session with Bob I was hooked, and I was in the boxing gym straight away on the same night. It come when I think it was a Wednesday night at school, a Wednesday day at school, and then on the night I went to the gym.
And you never looked back.
I never looked back.
Wow.
Best thing I ever did. One of the best things.
No, that's it's Bob is just so. It's like Bob has got a phenomenal amount of boxing knowledge.
Yeah.
So he's a good coach, and then he's got just as much, if not, that X factor that really hits you. You know, goes right down.
Yeah.
To your heart and really speaks to your heart and mind, and it's just like I can't wait to have him on the on the show.
It'd be great.
And it's just great to be around such coaches.
That's all they live, innit?
Yeah.
That's all they live. It's just Bob, Kev, and John. That's all they know. Boxing.
Years. That's probably 200 years worth of boxing experience.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you about if there was one lesson that you could scream to your boxers, what would that be? One lesson that you could scream at your amateur boxers, what would that be? So if there's one fundamental thing that you would drill into your boxers, What is that?
Every time you get, this is not actually physically get knocked down, but mentally or physically get knocked down. Every time you get up, you've gained something extra. So when you get knocked down, pick something up. You know what I mean?
I like that.
If you get knocked
down, pick something up
while you're down there, and then you go forward. If you don't get up and you quit, you'll always be down there. You'll never gain anything from quitting. It's like going for a job interview, and they say you haven't got the job. I ain't gonna look for another job again because they said I ain't got the job. But then I'll never have a job again. Or I'll take that experience and I'll go again, and then I've got the job. I've got a better job than I just looked for.
Yeah.
That's
No, it's you just got to keep going, isn't it?
You got to keep going. You got to keep going. If
it's learn from it and move on.
If it's with anything in life, that is anything.
How have you experienced that in your boxing coaching experience?
Yeah, like I touched on earlier, like I've got something wrong and I've gone, this ain't for me. Kick myself, oh shut up, Aaron. Just learn from it and carry on. So I've had to do loads of times.
I mean, it reminds me, you mentioned your fear of making phone calls.
Oh, the phone call thing. Yeah. Oh God. Someone's just laughed. So everyone laugh that you can laugh at that kind of.
Is that the kind of attitude?
It's because I used to think I need to speak to someone like this. If I speak to him on the phone, I can't see him. It must be a visual thing again. I need to visually be there. It's like overthinking things because I'm not there. I'm not doing it for real. Like when I jumped out of a plane, I just kept thinking. Weeks before, I kept thinking, the parachute ain't gonna go off. I'm gonna hit the ground. You know what I mean?
How did you even get in there then?
No idea.
Fair play.
Should I tell you the story behind it though?
Yeah, go for it.
The little story behind it is, I'm like a proud person, so I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. My missus' mom, Georgie's mom, she's good with thrills. So she said, would you do a skydive? And I was like, yeah, I'll do a skydive, no problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, I could do a skydive. The day later, she said, I booked us all in to do a skydive. And I was like, shit. I was thinking, I've always wanted to do a skydive, but I would have waited till I got to about 60 first. So if I do die, it ain't so bad, is it? I've lived a bit of a life. But yeah, we was booked in and I was like, well, here we go. We're doing it now. Lock and loaded.
Did you like think of like getting out of it? Like, oh, I can't do that day. I've got
yeah. I thought, I had every bug known to man coming into my mind. I was going to chop a leg off.
You're going to do that again.
but I had dreams about the parachute not opening, or nightmares. And when the day come and the plane goes up, the nerves are there. Oh, the nerves. They tell you, oh, you're 3,000 feet up now. You look at the window and you go, this is high. They go, you've got 10,000 more to go. And you're like, oh, God. And then...
Where did you do it?
But I'll tell you something before we carry on. As soon as the door opens and you get to the edge, nerves are gone. Adrenaline's in. It's go time. As soon as that door opened, it was ready to go.
Was that like boxing?
Exactly
when the bell goes.
Exactly the same.
Everything.
Not even the bell, just like
once you get in the ring.
Once you get into some ropes and then you're in there. It's reality's here. It's in your hands now. Like reality's here. Same with the phone calls. Going back to the phone calls, it's like I was thinking of it. It's not really reality being on the phone. And then I'm not the best speaker. My words don't come across right, and I think they're gonna get a bit funny with me on the phone, or they're gonna be aggressive, and it was like overthinking it over and over again. And so I just avoided it. I don't need to go on the phone. Everything's online. Forget it. But then you realise as you go through life, you have to go on the phone. So first time I did it, I was like, the sweat coming off me the first time. I was like, oh my God. And it was like an hour call because it was about, I don't know, when I first started talking to like tenants about houses and stuff and whatever. And I was like, oh, I can't do that again. And then I did it again, and did it again. And now that phobia's completely gone, and I could ring someone straight after this interview and be fine. It's just that thing again. It's that thing again, isn't it? When you get knocked down, get up, pick something up. And every time I got off the phone, I was like, oh, I can do that again.
Talking about, get knocked down, picking yourself up.
Rocky film,
and picking something up while you're down there.
Yeah.
What skills from, life have you taken into boxing and
put it into life?
If you can, would that be one?
Boxing's taught me manners above everything. Respect. Manners and respect. If I've answered that question correctly.
Tell us more. How?
So, boxing's helped me with respect, because you think you know everything, and then, or you think you know everything, and then until you don't, and you're like, I hate what I thought. You know what I mean?
So would you say it's humbled you?
It's humbling. It's humbling. You get respectful. You learn how to speak to people. You meet people. You go in a boxing gym, and there's just respect for everybody, because we're all here for the same thing. Most of them are boxers, so you're not the biggest one in there. And no matter how good I am at boxing, no matter how good you can get, there's always someone probably better than you. So you can have 5 sparring matches and I'm feeling myself good, and then the 6th sparring match you have, you get beaten around the ring, and you're like, well, what the hell? I ain't the man I thought I was.
Yeah.
But that's the humbling experience. And confidence, build your confidence as well, boxing, doesn't it? So, especially with the coaching's built my confidence more so than fighting, because there's more interactions there's a lot more interactions in coaching, so that's helped me with my confidence as well.
So
there's multiple things all the while.
So is there anything that you've taken from your life experience and brought to your coaching? Or do you think it's not as clear cut as that?
Yeah.
And that is, it's just a mixture of things.
I don't know, I get up every day early for work, and it's like, I don't want to get up, but you get up every day anyway. And I think boxing's helped me in that regard, because I don't want to train, but I train anyway. There's days where you go, I don't want to train today, but when I used to box, don't want to train today, but you train anyway. I don't want to get up for work sometimes, but I'll go anyway. So that I think that's helped with the discipline. It's mostly discipline and confidence. Every way I look at it, definitely.
Is there just on a final note? What kind of people do you find boxing attracts? What kind of characteristics? The type of person that would typically
that's an hard one.
Boxing, in your opinion?
A lot. This can vary, because someone who's got no confidence, who gets bullied, that it can attract them, and they'll probably make the best boxers. They don't want to get bullied. They want to learn how to defend themselves, and then they listen. They already have a humble. They're already humbled, so they go on to be something good. It can attract different types of people. It can attract bad people, because it's a fighting sport. People want to fight. Someone wants to fight, then someone I want.
But do you think in that sense, boxing would have a positive effect? Somebody thinks, like, everybody thinks they can fight. Do you know what I mean? They all think they can fight, and I've spoken to so many people. Like white collar, I think is a anyone thinks they can do it, and they just go and do their trading and what have you, and then they come to an amateur boxing gym, and then you learn the difference.
Yeah.
And I've had so many guys on here, a few guys that have had that experience.
So they've been white collared, and they've gone
amateur. Gone
Yeah.
amateur. So my point to you is, do you think that kind of person that thinks they can fight,
Yeah. It's humbling, isn't it?
come into boxing and they get? Do you think they would get that? Have that positive
I've met a load of big lads who on the street have got a reputation. They're big hard lads, and then they get into a boxing gym, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Because it's not really. It's a sport. It's a discipline. It's cringy to say, but you don't play boxing, do you?
Yeah.
It's life. Yeah. So when that big bully goes into the gym, it'll be a humble experience. If the guy who gets bullied goes into that boxing gym, it's going to be
a
confidence giver.
That's an interesting.
Let's just put it on a balancing. So the guy who's got so this is the line here. The guy who's got no confidence is here. The guy who's got too much confidence is here. And they will both meet on that line. So one will come there.
That's a beautiful way of putting it.
Until they're on that line.
Because it's so true, isn't it? It's like, and we see it day in, day out in the boxing gyms.
Yeah.
And again, Kev touched on this as well. So that guy that comes in thinking he's a gift,
God's gift, humble,
and then the guy that comes in who's
no confidence,
who's downtrodden, gets bullied,
and then that guy will be best of friends.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why boxing's so good.
Can you, on that positive note, is there an inspirational story that you can share from your experience so far in your limited experience as a coach? Maybe you've touched on it already. Maybe you've already touched on it, but just more specifically, is there anything that really in your mind stands out that you can share that's inspiring for us all?
The one that there was a lad in the boxing gym that looked a bit lost, and I give him a little bit of attention and said, I'll do the jab like this, and then I'll touch it there. And then the first one was to go, and then I was like, adjust this, do that, and then there looked like the confidence wasn't there, and they looked a bit worried. And then as soon as they threw the jab correctly and it landed on the pad, and it was like a shot, and they heard.
Was this somebody new?
Yeah, someone knew. Someone whose confidence was a bit low. Have I messed that up?
No.
Someone's confidence was a bit low, and they didn't look comfortable. They've been there a few weeks, and then I just said, hit the pad, and then I got them to do it right. And when they hit the jab right, and their smile was so big, I thought, this is what coaching's all about.
Wow.
That is probably, see, even though there's no trophy, there's no, he's won this, he's won that little thing. And it sounds cringy, but that actually is what.
It's just rewarding, isn't it?
That's the rewarding. That's left a print in my mind. That smile has left a print in my mind. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's probably that little experience. My first one that happened.
Wow. No, thank you for sharing that. And no, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
We're finished.
Hey,
that was quick.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, nice one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sure you enjoyed that. You've enjoyed that. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, don't forget to keep your hands up, keep your shape, and stay balanced, and be ready for whatever life throws your way. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.